Hello everybody, and welcome to the Capturing the Game podcast. On this podcast, we're going to dive deep into the world of sports creatives and really go behind the scenes to the people who create your favorite edits, your favorite post-game highlights, your favorite graphics, and the pictures you see all over the place. I'm your host, Luke Rule, and I am a photographer and videographer who has worked for the Baltimore Orioles, semi-pro teams, and college teams. And I'm really passionate about how creativity shapes the world of sports. As an athlete myself, I've played and I have captured the game, and so I really feel qualified to be able to bring these ideas to you. I started this podcast because I've always loved sports. I love the energy, the passion, the emotion that comes from sports, and I love delivering that myself on the playing field while also capturing that for fans and players when they're playing the game. And so the cinematic highlights I create, the behind the scenes edits, all the creative stuff I get to do is really just a way for me to stay connected to the game and stay connected in sports even when I'm finished playing sports. This show is about the people who make the magic happen, like myself and many others, and just being able to highlight those people and see the people who are working behind the scenes and maybe inspire some other people to get a job like that too, and maybe help you guys get a job like that too. Each week I'll talk with creatives from team videographers to social media managers to photographers, graphic designers, about what it is to be a sports creative, how they go about their job, their processes, and we'll cover their journeys, what they're doing now, who they've worked for, and just how to get your foot in the door into a professional setting and a professional workplace. And we're going to talk about the grind, their process, and just what inspires them to really do what they do. Just as a brief background, like I said, I'm a videographer, photographer. My name's Luke, and I've worked for the Baltimore Orioles. I've worked for the Kansas City Monarchs. I've worked for the College Baseball Hall of Fame, and I've done some gigs I'm really proud of, and I'm still growing as a creative, but I feel much more qualified after this past summer working with the Baltimore Orioles. I'm currently studying communication at Avila University and wrapping that up, and I really am passionate about sports creatives and the creative side of sports and the content side of sports, because as you can see, it is a growing industry and there's so much potential with it. I started this podcast really because there's a creative side of sports that maybe doesn't get recognized as much. The people behind the scenes don't get recognized as much. We don't get tagged in all the edits we do. We don't get recognition all the time for the stuff we do. And so I think a lot of these people deserve recognition. Everyone knows the players on the field, but not everybody knows the people right on the sidelines who are capturing the game and highlighting those players on the field so that you know who they are. I love being able to hear what other creatives think, what inspires them, what motivates them, how they keep going through the grind, especially baseball creatives. It's a 162-game season. It's a long season. And so what inspires them to keep going through that? It helps me be able to change up my processes, see if I can pull something from them. And so I think it's important for the listeners to be able to pull something from these people I'm going to be bringing on too. Each episode we're going to have a different guest who's going to provide insight into the world of sports creatives, whether that's a photographer who's going to give you their process or graphic designer who's going to give you their process. And those things are very different jobs, but in the creative department we all work together, and so it's important to understand both sides of the job. We're going to talk about their favorite projects they've done, everywhere they've worked, what each experience has been like, whether it's college, professional, and just the lessons that they've learned as they've grown as a creative. If you love sports, if you love creativity, and you want to get into the roots of what it's like to be creative for a professional team, a college team, then this is definitely the podcast for you. Thanks for tuning in to episode 1. We're going to have so many cool guests in the future, and I hope you stick around with us and make sure you're keeping up and checking us out, because we're going to have some awesome insight into what it's like to be a sports creative here on the Capturing the Game podcast. We'll see you next time.